Chapter 986. Wisdom Path Fame Spreads in Eastern Sea. Wisdom Star. This is ascending heaven plane, a secluded domain of heaven and earth. It was recorded inside the legends of Rinzu. This place is filled with space path down marks. Not only does it have no regular pattern, it is extremely complex and rearranges constantly. Since you are confident in your wisdom path methods, obtain the Tian Nen inheritance here. Blazing Heaven Demonist said to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan nodded. He understood Blazing Heaven Demonist's intention. His wisdom path methods were only exposed recently. Even He Lu Lan and the others were not very clear on them. Blazing Heaven Demonist wanted to take down Yu Lu Blessed Land. She needed to test the might of Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods. If Fang Yuan had decent capabilities, she would believe him and entrust the duty of attacking Yu Lu Blessed Land to him. If he was a fraud, Blazing Heaven Demonist had to find someone else. As for Fang Yuan, if he was useless, he would have to scram. Wisdom Star. Why is this name so familiar? Since this person is thought highly of by Blazing Heaven Demonist, he must have some proficiency. Not only are the space path down marks in Ascending Heaven Plane complex, they change at every moment. Our three clans are restricted by this and have little progress. How is it possible for him, who is working alone? Song Kuan, Kai Xiong, and Ruo Lai Ge transmitted to each other as Fang Yuan landed on the ground, walking towards the immortal Gu house that old eccentric Tian Nin left behind. Not just the three of them. The other Gu immortals' gazes were also on Fang Yuan. In the Song clan camp, a young woman was dressed in white, seemingly glowing with snow-white light, pure as jade. She was the prized jewel of Song clan. One of the beauties of Eastern Sea, Song Yishur, Wisdom Star, Chen Dao. At this moment, Song Yishur's eyes stared at Fang Yuan unblinkingly, filled with curiosity. I know this person. Recently, Shark Demon has been attacking Yu Lu Blessed Land. He is doing all that he can to ask this person to help. Earlier, it was Chen Dao who helped Shark Demon unravel the first few battlefield killer moves at a rapid pace. But for some reason, Chen Dao started ignoring Shark Demon recently. Strange. Little sure, why are you so knowledgeable about Chen Dao? Come to speak of it, this lad has quite the gentlemanly appearance. He is also quite handsome. One glance at him produces good feelings towards him. A female Gu immortal senior from Song clan teased Song Yishur. Song Yishur's face turned bright red. She explained. Chen Dao had once exposed one of Shark Demon's secrets, but Shark Demon had asked Uncle Song Jia Dan to protect this secret. This is why I am paying attention to him. Now was different from his previous life. Back then, Fang Yuan had been disguised as Xing Xiangzi, an elderly man. But now, with attitude Gu and familiar face, Fang Yuan naturally would make full use of this killer move. He transformed into a handsome appearance which could make people put down their guard, to make it easier for him to execute his current plans. Song clan's Gu immortals heard these words, and their expressions changed. Song Jia Dan was the pride of Song clan. He was also one of the three publicly recognized Wisdom Path Gu immortals in Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan could actually break Song Jia Dan's methods. Just in this aspect, one could see his capabilities to at once. The Gu immortals from Song clan looked at Fang Yuan with changed gazes. Fang Yuan walked 5 to 6 steps under everyone's eyes before stopping. His expression was calm, but he was secretly on alert. Ascending Heaven Plane was not simple. Secluded domains of heaven and earth were usually very mysterious. For example, Danghun Mountain and Luo Po Valley were filled with soul path down marks, while Ascending Heaven Plane had an uncountable number of space path down marks. Precisely because of these space path down marks, Ascending Heaven Plane could connect to the immemorial 9 heavens. Even a mortal could enter the immemorial 9 heavens through Ascending Heaven Plane. However, after the havoc caused by Rinzu's children, many of the immemorial heavens were destroyed. Even Ascending Heaven Plane was implicated. Ascending Heaven Plane was no longer as safe as during the immemorial antiquity era. The space path down marks here were complex like interlinked spider webs, and they were changing all the time. Even though Ascending Heaven Plane looked peaceful and safe currently, danger was lurking everywhere. It was full of life-threatening traps. Even Gu immortals would suffer terrifying damage from the space path down marks here if they were careless. Blazing Heaven Demonis brought me here to test the capabilities of my wisdom path methods, and also to suppress me through a show of force. She is probably still suspicious that I am relying on Purple Mountain True Monarch, not using my personal wisdom path methods, instead acting as a middleman. After all, the things I deduced were all predetermined matters. The deductions could be prepared earlier. Only in this environment, which is ever-changing, can my wisdom path ability truly be tested. It was not surprising that Blazing Heaven Demonis would be suspicious. After all, Fang Yuan's display of wisdom path methods was too sudden. Furthermore, he was an immortal zombie. There were wisdom path immortal zombies, but after becoming an immortal zombie, it was rare for them to still have such formidable wisdom path methods. Fang Yuan's mind was filled with star thoughts, colliding continuously. With star thought immortal goo, he no longer lacked star thoughts. This gave Fang Yuan a great amount of confidence. After a while, he continued moving forward, progressing towards old eccentric Tian Nan's immortal goo house. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. After 11 steps, Fang Yuan stopped again. This time and place. He was about 300 steps away from old eccentric Tian Nan's immortal goo house, but he had already caught up to the farthest goo immortal. This goo immortal was from Rualai clan. Seeing that Fang Yuan had reached the same progress as him, he smiled without feeling ashamed. Fang Yuan deduced again. The space path Dao marks here were invisible and did not show traces. He had to make deductions to progress that he had already reached the end of the path that he deduced earlier. Fang Yuan needed to walk and stop while deducing on the way. Deducing a long path was not worth it, because the space path Dao marks kept changing at varying speed. Even if he deduced a long path, by the time he walked on half of it, the latter half would change. The result would be that half of his deduction was wasted. I need to demonstrate my value so that I can participate in Ulu Blessed Land. I need to show my wisdom path ability. It seems that after this trip, my reputation as Wisdom Star is going to become renowned in Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with starlight. He had an understanding while deducing. Several minutes later, he had surpassed many of the Gu immortals on the ground. He was one of the closest people. Wisdom Star Chen Dao. Kai Xiong stared at Fang Yuan's back as he muttered. How old is he? This attainment level is at least Wisdom Path Grandmaster. Ruo Lai Gue gritted his teeth. Song Jia Dan sighed internally. It is a pity that my clan Song Jia Dan cannot come personally. Otherwise, this inheritance would have been ours long ago. Blazing Heaven Demonis was very pleased. With such an achievement, it was enough to be qualified to attack Ulu Blessed Land even in the vast Eastern Seat. The same time, Blazing Heaven Demonis could not help but feel shock. How many years has it been since Fang Yuan became an immortal? Not only did he cultivate Strength Path, he also has such an attainment in Wisdom Path. And from Sister's letter, he even displayed exemplary enslavement path methods in the Imperial Court contest. This shows how incredible his master Purple Mountain True Monarch is. This should be enough. I am 108 steps away from the Immortal Gu House now. Even though I can progress more, I am already one of the closest people. If I move any closer, I would attract trouble. Fang Yuan assessed this situation. Relying on Blazing Heaven Demonis, Shark Demon, and Subai Man could be bullied. But against Song Clan, Kai Clan, and Rualai Clan, Blazing Heaven Demonis was too weak. The space path Dao marks here became more numerous and changed faster as one got closer to the inheritance. Thus, the difficulty of deduction rose rapidly. With just Fang Yuan's capabilities, he could not get to the Immortal Gu House. Especially after he got to within the range of 80 steps. He would need a Wisdom Path Immortal Killer move. The Wisdom Path Immortal Killer move here did not mean defensive. Methods like Star Fog Concealment, or attacking methods like Myriad Star Fireflies, it needed to be specialized for deductions. Fang Yuan did not have this foundation, but he had Wisdom Gu. Even though he did not subdue Wisdom Gu, he could use the Light of Wisdom. Relying on it, he could obtain a result that far surpassed any deduction Wisdom Path Killer move. If he had the Light of Wisdom, Fang Yuan would have broken through already. He would be 50 steps away, not 100. The Light of Wisdom naturally could not be known to others. And in any case, if Fang Yuan obtained the inheritance, he would not be able to leave. The three super forces were wolves waiting to pounce. How could Fang Yuan leave after taking their food? Thus, Fang Yuan stopped, looking at Blazing Heaven Demonis. Blazing Heaven Demonis laughed internally. Fang Yuan truly was very aware of the situation. Not to mention this rank 6 immortal zombie. Even with her rank 8 cultivation level, she did not dare to attempt to take the treasure here. She wanted to leave already, but leaving without fighting would cause trouble. Song Clan, Kai Clan, and Ruolai Clan were 3 super forces that treated Ascending Heaven Plane as theirs. Blazing Heaven Demonis coming here would cause others to place their attention here if they did not show a firm stance now. And for Blazing Heaven Demonis, if she left now, the 3 super forces would pursue the matter for sure. She might as well stay and settle it now that it was impossible unless she fought with a rank 8 Gu Immortal that AS expected. Not long later, rank 8 Gu Immortals from the 3 clans appeared, getting into a vague alliance as they spoke with Blazing Heaven Demonis. Blazing Heaven Demonis, although alone, was not weak in stance. She suggested for them to fight. The 4 immortals flew to White Heaven. The scene of their fight was unknown to everyone. After fighting, Blazing Heaven Demonis descended, laughing loudly as she left with Fang Yuan. The 3 rank 8s from Song Clan, Kai Clan, and Ruolai Clan showed deep wariness and solemnness in their eyes. They secretly conversed. I have heard that Northern Plains Gu Immortals have incredible battle strength, above the other 4 regions. After this battle with Blazing Heaven today, it appears true. Although she is an immortal zombie, she has incredible battle strength. We can only resist her when 2 of us collaborate. She has great Grandmaster Fire Path attainment level. This woman cannot be underestimated. Earlier in Northern Plains, she destroyed a fragment world of the immemorial 9 heavens, giving her the title of Blazing Heaven Demonis. She is extremely thuggish and unscrupulous. Even though she left, in my opinion, we need to guard against her. Your words make sense. Chapter 987, Star Fog Conceals Traces. Eastern Sea, Twin Polar Sea Strait. The sounds of waves penetrated the thick fog as it entered the sea strait. Song Jiadan sat beside the cliff. His eyes were shut as he rested. His lower body was encased in gray stone. His upper body had the appearance of an old man. It was extremely wrinkled and he looked very aged. Suddenly, his eyelids moved. He sensed that Song Clan's first Supreme Elder, the rank 8 Gu Immortal Song Chi Yuan, had used his token to T Song Jiadan's will. The fog dispersed, revealing a path to walk on. A moment later, from the path, 2 figures walked in. 1 male and 1 female, both Gu Immortals. The female immortal was dressed in white. She was like a lotus flower, pure and moving. Her clear eyes were oozing with liveliness and anticipation. The male immortal was middle-aged. He was experienced and mature, walking behind the female immortal. Uncle Jiadan. Song Yishur called out from afar. Song Jiadan wanted to smile, but his face was firm like a statue. His muscles were stiff and could show no expression. His wisdom path cultivation was very unique. He could fuse with the world and make deductions. They were often very accurate, but the advantages came with disadvantages. Song Jiadan lost his freedom. His lower body turned into stone and had fused with Twin Polar Sea Strait. When his lifespan runs out, he would turn into stone completely, losing all life. Eventually, Song Jiadan could only speak expressionlessly in a low and drawn-out tone. Little Sure, cousin Xiachi, it has been a long time. The people who came to Twin Polar Sea Strait to visit Song Jiadan were Song Clan's Song Yishur and Song Xiachi. Uncle Jiadan, this is grandfather's token. Please take a look. Song Yishur first handed the token to Song Jiadan. Song Jiadan inspected it thoroughly and nodded, asking, "This time, what do you want to deduce?" Song Xiachi spoke. "This time, we are here for the Tian Nan inheritance in Ascending Heaven Plane." Song Jiadan pondered. Ascending Heaven Plane's space path Dao marks are complex and ever-changing. I cannot go personally, thus I cannot deduce the path spontaneously. But Ruolai Clan and Kai Clan have no powerful wisdom path Gu Immortals. I believe that all of you can succeed using the wisdom path Immortal Gu that I have. Song Yishur smiled lightly. Uncle Jiadan, there has been a change in Ascending Heaven Plane. Oh. Immediately, Song Yishur talked about Blazing Heaven Demonis and Fang Yuan, about how they entered Ascending Heaven Plane. Song Jiadan immediately understood Song Yishur and Song Xiaqi's intentions, he spoke. So you want to employ this wisdom star to help Song clan obtain the inheritance? That's right. Wisdom Star is not a member of Zombie Alliance. He is only tied by Yun Sheng's good friend. He is a Northern Plains Gu immortal, coming here because of the Earth Tide. Since he can work for Zombie Alliance, he can also be employed by Song clan. He had quite an amazing wisdom path attainment. If we are slow and the other two clans take action first, we would get into a passive situation. Song Xiaqi said, So you are here to ask me to deduce matters regarding Wisdom Star? Song Jia Dan continued. Song Yisher nodded. Uncle, we really cannot hide anything from you. That's right. Since we want to employ Wisdom Star, we need to know about his background. After all, he is not a clansman. Most importantly, the other party is also a Wisdom Path Gu immortal. If he tries to scheme, we will not only suffer a loss, we will also lose our face. Thus this time, we need you to use your methods and see if you can defeat this Northern Plains Wisdom Path Gu immortal. Song Jia Dan's eyes were lowered. He had a hint of hesitation. But this Wisdom Star Chun Dao can crack the method that I used for Shark Demon, and he was able to achieve that much in Ascending Heaven Plane. That means he not only has Wisdom Path attainment, he even has Wisdom Path Immortal Gu. It goes against the usual customs and manners of us Wisdom Path Gu immortals if I make deductions on such a Wisdom Path expert abruptly. If I am careless, we may attract the animosity of the other party and create a strong Wisdom Path enemy for our clan. In his previous life, Fang Yuan was disguised as Xing Xiangzi because he peeked at Song Yisher when bathing. Song Jia Dan made deductions on him. In this life, Fang Yuan was disguised as Wisdom Star. He did not leave behind any flaws, and most importantly, he had incredible Wisdom Path methods. This made Song Jia Dan very apprehensive. Song Yisher and Song Xia Qi looked at each other. The former did not speak while the latter said, There are advantages and disadvantages in everything. It depends on our judgment. Before coming here, we have already discussed with First Supreme Elder and Second Supreme Elder, Cousin Jia Dan. Please do it. Song Jia Dan nodded. Even though he was a Wisdom Path Gu immortal, he was not in charge of making decisions in the clan. In that case, he no longer hesitated. After preparing for a while, he took action. A long while later, Song Jia Dan opened his eyes, showing signs of fatigue in his eyes. I could not deduce anything. What? Uncle, you are one of the 3 strongest Wisdom Path Gu immortals in Eastern Sea. How can you fail the deduction? Is this Chun Dao really that formidable in terms of Wisdom Path? He can already match Cousin. Song Yisher and Song Xiaqi were both very shocked. Song Jia Dan shook his head. A person's effort is limited, while heaven's will is unpredictable. Maybe this Chun Dao is very skilled, able to block all my deduction methods. Or maybe he isn't in Eastern Sea. Not in Eastern Sea? Where can he be? The Earth Tide is gone. There is still a long time until the next Earth Tide. Song Yisher was very confused. Every immortal aperture is a small world. It is isolated from the outside world. I am only rank 7. It is not strange that I could not deduce it. Is that so? Song Yisher muttered, feeling dejected and disappointed. Song Jia Dan's words shifted, saying, I am more concerned about Ascending Heaven Plane. This place can connect to White Heaven and Black Heaven. It is of strategic importance and is wanted by many. Just now, even though Blazing Heaven Demoness left, we did not defeat her. This would lead to increase in the greed of others. We have to be careful of Eastern Sea's lone immortals and demonic cultivators. And although the other righteous path super forces cannot interfere directly, they can use their influence to meddle with the situation in Ascending Heaven Plane. These are our biggest lurking dangers. Cousin is truly wise. This makes perfect sense. Song Xiaqi's expression changed. He nodded repeatedly. Song Yisher also showed an expression of worry. Rather than deducing Wisdom Star Chun Dao, I might as well deduce this matter. Don't worry, as long as you use my arrangement, you will defeat the lone immortals and demonic cultivators. We can even use their strength to weaken Rualai clan and Kai clan. Song Jia Dan was very confident. Central Continent, who immortal blessed land, star fog concealment. Fang Yuan willed, using his immortal killer move. Immediately, fog made of starlight came out of his second immortal aperture. Soon, the star fog shrouded Fang Yuan's entire body. blurring his facial features. Others could only see a vague figure of Fang Yuan inside the fog. I finally succeeded in deducing the modified star fog concealment. Fang Yuan inspected it and felt joyous. This star fog concealment could defend against the deductions of others against himself. After leaving Ascending Heaven Plane and negotiating with Blazing Heaven Demonis, he returned to immortal Blessed Land and used the light of wisdom to modify the original star fog concealment. The original star fog concealment had two core immortal goo. One of them was Star Thought Immortal Goo. The modified Star Fog concealment also had two core Immortal Goo. Star Thought Immortal Goo was one of them, while the other was replaced with Unravel Mystery Immortal Goo. Right now, Fang Yuan had Wisdom Path Grandmaster attainment level. The Wisdom Path Immortal Goo Unravel Mystery that he could not utilize while previously was starting to display its capabilities. The trip to Ascending Heaven Plane earlier will soon make the name of Wisdom Star spread throughout Eastern Seas Goo Immortal World. By then, there will be many who will try to make deductions on me to find information on Wisdom Star. Familiar Face is a transformation path killer move. It can disguise me, but it cannot block deductions. With Star Fog Concealment, I am much safer in Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan thought. Of course, the defense of Star Fog Concealment had its limits. Firstly, it could only defend against deductions from others. It could not block fire, wind, water, or physical punches and kicks. Secondly, it only used two rank 6 Immortal Goo as the core. If a rank 7 Wisdom Path Goo Immortal makes a deduction, it would only be able to defend for a while before collapsing. But Star Fog Concealment did not need constant activation. The star fog produced after activation was a layer of defense. As long as the fog remained, it could defend him. This star fog is filled with tiny fragments of Star Path and Wisdom Path Downmark. Because of this jumbled mix of fragments, I can block outside deductions. Even if Song Jia Dan makes a deduction, the star fog can block him for a while. It would alert me, and I would be able to use fixed immortal travel to hide in a blessed land. Once he entered a blessed land, he would be in another world. Even a rank 8 Wisdom Path Great Expert would be unable to make any deductions on him. First, he created Star Soul Battlefield. Next, he made Star Fog Concealment. Two of Fang Yuan's weaknesses had been eliminated. Next, he should focus on refining the rank 6 all-out effort Immortal Goo. At the same time, he had to patiently wait for Blazing Heaven Demonis to act. In my previous life, Blazing Heaven Demonis had succeeded in pushing aside Shark Demon and Subai Man. But because the timing was bad, she had to go to Northern Plains. Right now, with my influence, progress in Yulu Blessed Land was much faster. Thus she can take action early. We should have enough time. I hope that the rewards in this Yulu Blessed Land will not be as disappointing as the dream realm inside the Starry Sky Grotto Heaven Fragment World. Earlier, Fang Yuan got through the second layer of the dream realm and came to the third, reaching a new layer that he did not enter in his previous life. Both his Wisdom Path and Star Path attainment levels had risen, but they were still at Grandmaster level. But the most important thing was, the third layer of the dream realm was very strange. Fang Yuan could not understand. The third layer of the dream realm collapsed on its own, not giving Fang Yuan any boost to his attainment levels. And in the dream, the song that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable recited could not be recalled by Fang Yuan no matter what he tried. Days passed by. Blazing Heaven Demonis finally settled the relationships within Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance. Similarly to Fang Yuan's previous life, she used Bo Dan as an excuse to oust Shark Demon, and Subai Man. Fang Yuan did not participate in this. He would only take action when Blazing Heaven Demonis was attacking Yulu Blessed Land. As he expected, even though the battlefield killer move unmoving troops was mystical, it did not have anyone controlling it. It was like an empty formation. Fang Yuan expended a huge amount of mental energy and immortal essence, unraveling this final level and completely capturing Yulu Blessed Land. There is only one strength path, Immortal Goo. Don't think about it. This is a present I am giving to Little Lawn. According to our agreement, you can take 2 rank 6 Immortal Goo. But this Star Path Immortal Goo, even though it is only rank 6, it is on the list of top 10 mystical goo. It has immense value. If you choose it, you will not be able to take another Immortal Goo. Blazing Heaven Demonist said to Fang Yuan. Chapter 988, Star Eyes Immortal Gu. Central Continent, Star Form Blessed Land. Fang Yuan concentrated, without any distraction, on refining all-out effort Gu. Large amounts of immortal materials had fused into a lump of liquid. The yellow-brown liquid was floating in the at Fang Yuan's will. His second vital Gu, all-out effort Gu, shot into the liquid. Rise. Saying this, Fang Yuan grunted as he stretched out his hand. His 5 fingers opened and grabbed at the ground. Crack, crack. With bursts of sound, the rocks on the ground rumbled and completely surrounded the liquid, forming a big muddy ball. This was an Earth Path Refinement Path killer move. Not long ago, Fang Yuan had traded for it with Lang Ye Land Spirit. This was a small benefit of joining Lang Ye's sect. Of course, he had to pay a price. Fang Yuan deduced an immortal Gu recipe for Lang Ye Land Spirit, completing 30% of it. This refinement path killer move, even though it was not immortal level, was very useful. The all-out effort Gu recipe that Fang Yuan had modified used this refinement path killer move many times during the process of refinement. Blood refinement killer move. Blood refinement snake. Fang Yuan's body shook. His eyes, nose, and ears. All his 7 orifices started to bleed. The blood flowed continuously, forming 7 snakes that slithered around and hissed, producing scary sounds. The 7 snakes climbed onto the muddy ball. The muddy ball was coiled around, becoming a ball of snakes. Fang Yuan threw mortal Gu in continuously, as the blood snakes opened their mouths and ate. With every Gu worm that they ate, their bodies would sink into the muddy ball. 2 hours later, the blood snakes completely fused into the muddy ball. On the muddy ball's surface, there were countless red snake scales. The entire muddy ball almost seemed to be alive. The red snake scales flickered with faint light. It seemed like this muddy ball was breathing with life. Fang Yuan roasted it with fire. These were 3 different types of fire. Roasting the muddy ball of snake scales in turns, the blue fire made the flickering of the muddy ball's scales less frequent, as a layer of frost appeared on the red scales. Fang Yuan used a green fire next. After roasting it, the muddy ball became more lively. From the frost, a layer of moss grew. Finally, Fang Yuan used a yellow fire. From within the fire, the moss on the muddy ball hardened, turning into a brown cocoon of blood. The cocoon of blood was flickering with golden light, as if golden sand was mixed in it. The yellow fire roasted the muddy ball for the longest time. After roasting it for a day and a night, the brown muddy ball turned into a pure golden color. By this point, he had finally finished a crucial step. Fang Yuan let out a sigh. He obtained some precious time to rest. He slept for 2 days and 2 nights. After recovering completely, he took out the golden muddy ball. The original brown muddy ball was large as a basin, but the golden one was only slightly larger than a baby's head. Next was another crucial step. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply, activating a special Gu worm, attacking the golden ball. With a bang, the golden muddy ball exploded. Endless gold powder scattered around the surrounding 3 failed. Fang Yuan's expression was grim. His expectant gaze had dimmed. The gold powder was all over the place, but nothing else was left. If he had succeeded, a half-completed immortal Gu would have been formed, but unfortunately, it did not. The immortal materials and immortal essence stones that he had invested earlier were all wasted. His only gain was the experience of refining the Gu. During his next attempt, he would be slightly more proficient. Sighing, Fang Yuan quickly settled his mood, becoming calm once again. Refining immortal Gu was not easy. The success rate was too low. This failure was very normal. He could only continue to accumulate immortal materials and try again next time. Fang Yuan had refined Spring-Autumn Cicada in his previous life, and succeeded in refining Star-Thought Immortal Gu now. After these experiences, he had a very strong mental fortitude in terms of this. After resting for a bit, he used fixed immortal travel and left the blessed land. Arriving in southern border. It was nighttime. Fang Yuan flew up into the clouds. Above the clouds, the stars in the sky could be seen, shining brightly. Star eyes. This immortal Gu was recently obtained by Fang Yuan. It was his reward in Lu blessed land. Fang Yuan activated this immortal Gu. Immediately the pupils in his eyes turned into whirlpools, spiraling and spinning nonstop. that a formless attractive force sucked the starlight in the night sky into Fang Yuan's eyes. Rank 6 Immortal Goo Star Eyes. 10th on the list of top 10 mystical goo. This was an investigative immortal goo. Fang Yuan did not lack investigative methods, but, after careful consideration, he still chose this immortal goo. That was because this goo's investigative ability far exceeded most investigative immortal killer moves. Using star eyes, Fang Yuan could turn the stars in the night sky into his own eyes temporarily, using them for observation. The light of stars in black heaven shined over all 5 regions. Any place with the light of stars shining on them could be seen and investigated by Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan could stay in central continent and use the stars in the night sky to observe southern border and northern plains. Thus, this goo was at 10th. It is a pity, if it did not have this weakness, its position would rise by 2 or 3 places. Star Eye's immortal goo's weakness was that it could not be used immediately. Before using it, there was a need to connect with the stars. Fang Yuan was doing this now. The spiraling in his eyes slowed in speed, as the light of the stars were drawn in and filtered, until the remaining starlight intertwined together, forming a trace of starlight that was the thickness of a finger point, 1 in his left eye, 1 in his right eye, a total of 2 starlight traces. These 2 traces were formed from starlight. One was connected to Fang Yuan's pupils, while the other was connected to a star in black heaven. Beads of green grape immortal essence were expended. Star Eye's immortal goo continued to be activated, as a mystical force was transmitted through the traces of starlight towards the end point. Fang Yuan's eyes had been wide open, but now his vision was filled with darkness. But with the continued activation of Star Eye's immortal goo, he could gradually see a faint blue speck in the darkness. Time continued to pass. Soon, the night was over. Fang Yuan's vision was still covered by darkness, but at the center, the blue light had already expanded by quite a bit. In time, this blue light will grow larger and larger, regaining its appearance as a star. Hopefully, the light of the star that I chose is small. Otherwise, to completely make use of it, I would need a lot of time and effort. If the starlight was small, Fang Yuan could turn it into his tool much quicker. Even though a smaller starlight was dimmer, and a larger starlight had greater penetrative force, but Fang Yuan still preferred the former. He wanted to quickly be able to use Star Eye's immortal goo. The sky turned bright. Fang Yuan finally stopped. He counted. After one night, he had consumed 8 beads of immortal essence to activate Star Eyes. Star Eyes is at 10th. A flaw is that its expenditure is too high. To refine a star, the consumption is around 10 attempts at refining rank 6 immortal goo. Thankfully, I can bear it. In fact, my star path attainment level is Grandmaster, and with the light of wisdom, Star Eyes can combine into other immortal killer moves and show great use. Most importantly, if I can combine the use of Star Eyes and fixed immortal travel. Fang Yuan's thoughts wandered. Thinking of this combination, he smiled. Blazing Heaven Demonis must have known this point beforehand. Placing so much emphasis on Star Eyes immortal GU.IT was true. Star Eyes and fixed immortal travel had very complementary effects to IN the following days. Fang Yuan attempted to refine all-out effort immortal goo while deciphering the battlefield killer moves left behind by Fairy Yu Lu, among which, the most important information was the method to create a battlefield killer move in an immortal aperture without harming it. All the while, Fang Yuan found some time to use Star Eye's immortal goo and refine the star in black heaven. Furthermore, he had been paying close attention to the information of the outside world. Time passed quickly while Fang Yuan was hard at work. The situation in northern plains and central continent was not much different from in his previous life. But in Eastern Sea, ascending heaven plains situation changed. In Fang Yuan's previous life, large numbers of lone cultivators and demonic immortals charged into ascending heaven plane, messing up the arrangements created by Song clan, Kai clan, and Rualai clan. In this process, 7 Sea Snake Woman even laughed at Song Yishur, causing her to destroy a village by the sea, killing Li Xiao Yao's ancestor. But now, these lone cultivators and demonic immortals were attacked by the combined forces of Song clan, Kai clan, and Rualai clan. They broke apart before they even did anything. The reason was because Blazing Heaven Demonis brought Fang Yuan and caused trouble first, resulting in them becoming more alert. The internal conflicts between the clans also became more limited and controlled. With the appearance of outsiders, the three clans collaborated immediately. Fang Yuan was most concerned about Luo Pa Valley. He knew that Luo Pa Valley was undergoing the 100 Days battle, led by Feng Jiugu, Central Continent side, were battling against the Shadow Sect Gu Immortals, led by Qin Baisheng. Fang Yuan wanted to know about the situation of the battle, but he could not find out. He could only set up some investigative Gu about 100 li away from Luo Pa Valley. This was a very dangerous range. If he got closer, the Gu Immortals from both sides would likely discover him. It'd be its Central Continent or Shadow Sect. They were not to be trifled with. They were fighting to the death in the valley. They were definitely afraid of third parties trying to benefit from this. They would inevitably set up many investigative and counter-investigative methods, setting up battlefield killer moves and Gu formations in advance. Now is different from my previous life. I purposely kept Shui Songzi alive to increase Shadow Sect's strength. The overall situation in the 100 Days battle will likely change. In his previous life, Shadow Sect failed, but people managed to escape. Even though Central Continent won, they lost Feng Jiugu. It was only a Pyrrhic victory. This time, Fang Yuan was very curious about the result of the new 100 Days battle, but before the winner was decided, he did not want to interfere. Having lost self-strength and failing to refine all-out effort Gu, he did not have enough confidence now. Time continued to pass. 3 days had already gone by since the end of the 100 Days battle during his previous life. Fang Yuan pinched his fingers as he deduced. He was already in northern plains, waiting patiently. There was finally a reaction from Luo Pa Valley. Chapter 989. Chasing Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance. 2 figures emerged from Luo Pa Valley, one in front and one behind. They were the Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance Immortal Zombie and Hei Cheng. Fang Yuan went on alert. His gaze followed the two. He did not chase them immediately. After a while, there were no Central Continent Gu Immortals who came out of Luo Pa Valley. Fang Yuan guessed in his mind. It seems that even though I kept Shui Songzi alive, the result was only stalled by 3 days. Shadow Sect still lost. Now it seems only the Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance Immortal Zombie and Hei Cheng escaped. Actually, this result was not strange. The decisive factor of this battle was the fighting between Feng Jiugu and Qin Baisheng. Fang Yuan kept Shui Songzi alive, but just merely him alone did not have much of an impact towards the two experts. I wonder if there are any other changes in the 100 Days battle in Luo Pa Valley this time. Fang Yuan thought as he chased. The Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance Immortal Zombie flew quickly. His speed was very fast. He turned into a black line in the air, shooting forward rapidly. Who is it? Suddenly, the Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance Immortal Zombie stopped, his eyes burning with fire. Tai Bai Yunsheng appeared, smiling coldly. You are finally here. You will die today. Merely a rank 6, humph. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance burst out with killing intent, pouncing at lightning speed. Boom! He hit Tai Bai Yunsheng harshly. The latter turned into a clump of bubbles and dissipated. Illusion. The Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance Immortal Zombie's heart jumped. The other party is only rank 6. He dares to obstruct a rank 7. Most importantly, how did he know my location? Is he a Northern Plains pawn of Central Continent? Earlier, he did not join the 100 Days battle because his battle strength was too low and could not do much? Or perhaps he just arrived? Or do the Central Continent Gu Immortals not trust him? This Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance, even though he was an immortal zombie, had high wisdom path attainment. In an instant, countless thoughts turned in his mind. He understood Tai Bai Yunsheng's objective. He is only rank 6, while I have rank 7 cultivation level, and I have 40% of my battle strength left. He is not my match, and has a Northern Plains Gu Immortal aura. The most likely reason is that he is just here to slow me down and delay my escape. Slow down, no rush. Tai Bai Yunsheng's illusion appeared again. This illusion was very vivid. Earlier, the Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance was not paying attention and thought it was his true body, but now, after using investigative methods, the Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance took a look and found something amiss. Humph. He snickered, flying far away. Tai Bai Yunsheng's battle strength was not high. and he did not have fast movement abilities. He could only cause a disturbance, but the blazing glory lightning brilliance did not care. After realizing Tai Bai Yunsheng's intentions, he only thought of escaping. Where do you think you're going? Stay here. Fang Yuan finally caught up. He had fixed immortal travel and arranged for Tai Bai Yunsheng to slow him down. With their information path methods, he could keep an eye on the blazing glory lightning brilliance. He could catch up easily if not for the fact that Fang Yuan did not want to expose fixed immortal travel and his identity in front of the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie. He would have arrived long ago. Seeing Fang Yuan's arrival, Tai Bai Yunsheng's heart was uplifted. Next was the crucial moment. Blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie saw Fang Yuan and his heart jumped. He was so scared he shuddered. Feng Jiu Ge. He screamed that in fact, Fang Yuan had used familiar face to turn into Feng Jiuji's appearance. His battle strength was only at the peak of rank 6. Because he enslaved the Featherman Gu immortal, his battle strength fell by a lot. If they properly fought, he would not be able to do much, but Fang Yuan had a trump card. This trump card was Star Soul Battlefield. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was only rank 7. After the 100 days battle, and breaking out with difficulty, his remaining battle strength would be less than half of usual. In this situation, as long as they forced the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie into Star Soul Battlefield and used it to drain his strength, Fang Yuan could likely win. Forget about Heicheng for now. He is like a stray dog, probably in a worse state than in my previous life. His immortal Gu house has already been lost in Luopa Valley. Otherwise, why did the Central Continent Gu immortals not chase him? He has heavy injuries and only has Dark Arrow immortal Gu. He is not a concern. But this blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie is a crucial member. Qin Baisheng and Zhang Yu went through all means possible to keep him alive. During the Battle of Etian Mountain, he was one of the members inside the 10 Extreme Immortal Zombie Lifeless Formation, acting as a formation core. He is assigned an important mission. He will not die easily. In my previous life, after old ancestor Shui who captured him, he awaited the rescue of Zombie Alliance. Thus, there is a high chance of me capturing him. As long as I capture him, I can soul search him and Shadow Sect's secrets will be exposed to me. Of course, if his soul was tampered with, it would be like Shui Song Zi in my previous life. But even then, when I kill him, it would be a huge loss to Shadow Sect in the execution of their plans. Fang Yuan had many considerations. Shadow Sect had huge power. If he wanted to take graceful chaotic dual stage, he would need to face this mysterious and powerful Gu immortal force. According to Fang Yuan's experience and ruthlessness, as well as his forceful personality, why would he not find trouble with Shadow Sect personally? Fang Yuan was not going to wait passively. This time, he was going to strike at their weakness and deal a huge blow to them. Is it really Feng Jiuge? The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie saw that Fang Yuan was approaching while having a thought. He was a core member of Shadow Sect. Qin Baisheng's plan was not hidden from him. Before the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie broke out, he had seen Qin Baisheng using the location to drag Feng Jiuge, Ao Shui, and Ling Mei into the space of the thieving heaven true inheritance. Afterwards, Qin Baisheng would suicide, using the winds of assimilation to eliminate Feng Jiuge and the rest. How could Feng Jiuge appear here? The likelihood was very small, because Shadow Sect had already learned. Zhao Linyun had been secretly sent to Central Continent. From Spirit Affinity House's perspective, they had control of a thieving heaven true inheritance. They would naturally send Zhao Linyun there. Unless, among Feng Jiuge, Ao Shui, and Ling Mei, one of them is an otherworldly demon. But we had investigated this beforehand too. Blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie thought quickly as he recalled Tai Bai Yunsheng's previous illusion, feeling deeper suspicion towards the Feng Jiuge who was chasing him. Thus, he decided to use his investigative immortal killer move. After investigating, he broke out in cold sweat. This is the real Feng Jiuge. At once, the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie wanted to grow 100 pairs of wings to help him fly away faster. My familiar face can fool even rank 8 Gu immortals. How can you overcome it? I have star fog concealment protecting me, which means Even if you use wisdom path methods, it will take a long time for you to find out my identity. With star fog concealment, a large part of familiar faces' flaws were alleviated. Furthermore, if the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie makes deductions on Fang Yuan would sense that the star fog was thinning. He would naturally activate the immortal killer move star fog concealment again and resist the deduction, concealing the truth. Unless the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie had very strong wisdom path methods that could defeat star fog concealment quickly, but this was very unlikely. At least in Fang Yuan's previous life, in the information he got from He Lulan, there was nothing that stated the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie had shown any wisdom path methods during the 100 Days battle. Familiar Face's power was fully displayed at this moment, even though it did not have attacking power. The great blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie, having one of the 10 extreme physiques with rank 7 battle strength, was sent into shock by Fang Yuan and escaped in a panic. He had powerful movement ability. At least 2 immortal killer moves were meant for movement. Fang Yuan's flying speed could not keep up with the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie, but Fang Yuan had fixed immortal travel. Fang Yuan had used wisdom path methods to scout the surrounding area completely already as long as he knew the direction that the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was going. Fang Yuan would teleport there and block his path. This way, Fang Yuan chased and obstructed him at times. Doing this repeatedly, he gradually chased the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie towards the area he had made his arrangements. There, Fang Yuan had placed many goo worms and set up most of the Star Soul battlefield. Once he gets there, he would use his immortal goo and in a few breaths' time, Star Soul battlefield would be formed. Once the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie falls into Star Soul battlefield, he would be a trapped beast. But just as the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal killer move was forced towards Fang Yuan's specially created trap, he suddenly turned around, using an immortal killer move to attack Fang Yuan. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the blazing red flames shot towards Fang Yuan. The temperature in the air rose. Fang Yuan felt incomparable heat before the flames even reached him. His eyebrows and hair were turning charred. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed sharply. He had to retreat. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie laughed heartily. Lowly rat, you actually dared to deceive me. Fang Yuan sighed secretly. No plans were perfect. His biggest flaw was that his flying speed was too slowed. In the 100 Days battle, Feng Jiuge displayed incredible speed. Fang Yuan could not replicate it. This flaw made the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie increasingly suspicious. As his suspicions grew, the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie started to guess Fang Yuan's motives. Not only did he have great battle strength, he had a meticulous mind. Even as an immortal zombie, he was not held back by its weakness. He was very astute. Fang Yuan almost succeeded in his plan, but at the crucial moment, it failed. Now, the situation had turned around. Fang Yuan was the one in grave danger. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie's flying speed was much faster than Fang Yuan's. Fang Yuan had enslaved the Featherman Gu immortal. His situation was very bad. After dodging the flames with much difficulty, Fang Yuan was in a pathetic state. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was angry that Fang Yuan deceived him. He was greatly enraged. He charged towards this fake Feng Jiuge. Fang Yuan suddenly looked inspired, laughing. Blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie. You fell for it. Everyone, my mission is complete. I will leave the rest to you. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was shocked. He subconsciously turned around and escaped for his life. Chapter 990. Fang Yuan's second entry into Luo Pa Valley. Chapter 990. Fang Yuan's second entry into Luo Pa Valley. Seeing that blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was flying away, Fang Yuan relaxed. He immediately left in the opposite direction. Although he had fixed immortal travel, it was best that he did not expose this goo. Fixed immortal travel was too obvious. If it was exposed, even if one was not a wisdom path goo immortal, they could deduce the true identity of Fang Yuan. I have fixed immortal travel. Many goo immortals know that. Sigh. If not for that, it would be much more convenient for me to do things. Fang Yuan flew towards the direction he had set up the battlefield killer move. A moment later, he arrived at his destination. There, Tai Bai Yunsheng had been waiting already. The strategy to force the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie here failed. Fang Yuan said solemnly. Tai Bai Yunsheng sighed in relief. In my opinion, this is a good thing. After all, with just the two of us, to deal with a rank 7 Gu immortal, it is very dangerous. Actually, Fang Yuan, you do not need to be so anxious. Central Continent still hasn't found us, right? Even if they found us, Master would not leave us in the lurch. Don't forget, we have fixed immortal travel. Where can we not go in this world? We can develop peacefully now and accumulate our strength. Why is there a need to put ourselves in danger all the time? Fang Yuan sighed. He shook his head and did not speak. Fang Yuan did not tell Tai Bai Yunsheng about the immortal Gu house. It was not that he did not want to develop peacefully, but the situation did not allow it. Tai Bai Yunsheng was not a person from the future like Fang Yuan. Only with his 500 years of experience did Fang Yuan know how deep the Gu immortal world's secrets could be. Once the truth of 88 True Yang building was exposed, the suppression of Heavenly Court and the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent would come faster and with greater severity than Tai Bai Yunsheng could imagine. Even if Fang Yuan wanted to develop peacefully, he would not be able to. His businesses would definitely suffer greatly as long as Heavenly Court hands out false information that Fang Yuan had obtained an immense amount of wealth inside 88 True Yang building and has countless immortal Gu with him, as well as Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's luck path true inheritance. Then no matter where he went, he would be suppressed and chased after. After all, the current era was not the one where Dream Realm flourished. It was no exaggeration that Fang Yuan, with Giant Sun's true inheritance, would become the focus of the entire Gu immortal world. Fang Yuan, with only rank 6 bottom-tier cultivation level, would become the target of countless greedy people. Why then, Fang Yuan, with insufficient battle strength, would have to roam everywhere like a stray dog. Even if he wanted to develop, he would not be able to. Don't forget, he had to undergo calamities and tribulations. Once in a while, he would be faced with them. But if he had the immortal Gu house graceful chaotic dual stage, everything would be different. Rank 8 battle strength was at the peak of the Gu immortal world. A Fang Yuan who had nothing but cultivation level at the bottom of rank 6 could be hunted down by the entire world. But a Fang Yuan with rank 8 battle strength would only be targeted by rank 8 Gu immortals or super forces that owned immortal Gu houses. Even if they had strength, they needed time, effort, and most importantly, confidence in taking down Fang Yuan. Thus, these two situations were vastly different. Tai Bai Yunsheng saw that Fang Yuan was silent and spoke to console him. Fang Yuan, are you forcing yourself too much? No need to be like this. Actually, you can change your lifestyle. We are immortals. We should enjoy life occasionally, shouldn't we? I am enjoying life now. Fang Yuan gave Tai Bai Yunsheng a glance before looking into the horizon. It has been a while, but we have not seen that blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie approaching. He is truly cool-headed. With his intelligence, he should have been able to know that I was lying very quickly. But that person was not overcome by rage. He used the chance to leave instead. Oh you. Tai Bai Yunsheng shook his head, sighing. But this Gu formation that you set up is quite something. It is very interesting. It surrounds an area of tens of thousands of li. It is the largest Gu formation I have seen, and within it, I can actually control Gu worms and create illusions. Most importantly, the Gu worms used to create this formation are all mortal Gu. Where did you get it? Was it obtained from Yulu blessed land as well? Fang Yuan nodded, but did not explain it. He had not only obtained Star Eye's immortal Gu from Yulu blessed land, he had also gotten Fairy Yulu's cultivation knowledge. From it, he had an inspiration, and using the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan created this huge Gu formation that was designed for this situation. Fang Yuan said, just an area of 10 of thousands of li. So what? Look at 88 True Yang building. It covers the entirety of Northern Plains. And this Gu formation is actually very weak. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie merely did not break it because he was busy escaping and did not have the time for it. Alright, let's go. We are going to chase Hei Chang. Fang Yuan's plan against the blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie did not work. The other party was simply too astute. But Fang Yuan was not going to let He Cheng go. Fang Yuan had planned for the Featherman Gu immortal Zhou Zhong to tail He Cheng. He instructed him to follow secretly and avoid battling. The process of chasing He Cheng was very successful. Even though He Cheng had high cultivation level, he was injured and only had Dark Arrow immortal Gu. He had also experienced the 100 Days battle. Fang Yuan did the same thing again and set up the trap. This time, he did not turn into Feng Jiugu, but pretended to be old Lord Kenyang. He Cheng was escaping and fell into the trap easily. Fang Yuan had been waiting for a long time. He activated his immortal Gu and opened the Star Soul battlefield. The pitiful He Cheng was continuously weakened by Star Soul battlefield. He had no choice but to scream surrender. Fang Yuan did not take his life, instead, capturing him alive. This way, He Cheng became the first gain that Fang Yuan had after creating Star Soul battlefield. He Cheng had great value, at the very least. If he were to be sold to He Lu Lan, she would be willing to be extorted by a huge sum. But before this, Fang Yuan had to conduct a thorough soul search on He Cheng. He had obtained information from He Lu Lan in his previous life. But how could that compare to Fang Yuan's personal search? Bringing along the captive He Cheng, Fang Yuan returned to Hu immortal blessed land that he rested while observing Northern Plains situation. My next target is Luo Pa Valley. Once I have it, together with Dang Hun Mountain, my soul foundation will grow at a rapid pace. The backlash of using slavery immortal Gu will be quickly eliminated, and my battle strength will recover. Fang Yuan had a strong desire towards Luo Pa Valley. Back then, he had chosen to trade for slavery immortal Gu because of Luo Pa Valley's existence. Fang Yuan wanted to take Luo Pa Valley, but he needed to wait for some time. After soul-searching He Cheng, Fang Yuan knew that during the initial period of the 100 Days battle, Xue Songzi died. The rest of the battle was similar to his previous life, and towards the end, it was nearly identical. Feng Jiugu was trapped by Qin by Shang using some unknown method. By now, Luo Pa Valley has been taken over by the Central Continent Gu Immortals. It is not time to go yet. Fang Yuan waited patiently. He would never lack patience. Soon, the situation in Northern Plains changed. Fang Yuan's attention was drawn over. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie escaped and sneaked into Earth Trench, but found out that old ancestor Xue who was stealing immortal zombie corpses. A battle ensued. The blazing glory lightning brilliance immortal zombie was captured, while old ancestor Xue who was exposed, attracting the rage of zombie alliance. Even though the 100 Days battle was dragged on by a few days, the incident regarding old ancestor Xue who still occurred. Fang Yuan felt a bit of pity regarding this. He did not want Blazing Heaven Demoness to return to Northern Plains so quickly. Blazing Heaven Demoness, along with He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan. These three immortals together gave Fang Yuan a lot of pressure. He still wanted to sell He Cheng for a good price. But if Blazing Heaven Demoness helped He Lu Lan, Fang Yuan would be very passive later. Developments were almost the same as in his previous life. Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance ordered Blazing Heaven Demoness to return to Northern Plains and defend Dark Flow Giant City. Blazing Heaven Demoness was the leader of the Northern Plains Zombie Alliance branch. She could not refuse it, even though she knew that Fang Yuan had fixed immortal travel to play it safe. She chose 2 rank 8 immortal zombies and some others to accompany her in passing the regional walls. Fang Yuan told Blazing Heaven Demoness a plan, saying that he had deduced it using wisdom path methods. Blazing Heaven Demoness heard it and praised him. This plan is brilliant. I like it. Old ancestor Xue who is hard to deal with, but he has a weakness. That is, he lacks immortal materials to refine fortune rivaling Heaven Immortal Gu. Tell me, knowing your personality, what do you want in return for giving me this plan? Blazing Heaven Demoness did not know that this was a plan that she had come up with after returning to Dark Flow City and thinking deeply for a long time. Fang Yuan told her that he wanted Strength Path immortal zombie bodies. Blazing Heaven Demoness hesitated, but thinking about Fang Yuan's deep background, she agreed to it. Fang Yuan was doing this for assurance that in case he fails in obtaining the Immortal Gu House and the rank 8 Great Strength True Martial Immortal Zombie, he still had a way out. Time passed rapidly. Fang Yuan was investigating Central Continent and knew that the Central Continent Gu immortals had started to leave northern plains. It is time to take Luo Pa Valley. Fang Yuan mobilized Tai by Yunsheng and Zhou Zhong, using fixed immortal travel to get to the deepest part of Luo Pa Valley. He had come here in his previous life, and after soul-searching He Chum, he knew the scenery of Luo Pa Valley. Thus, it was easy to get here to At this time. Hui Fengzi, who had surrendered to Central Continent, was guarding this place, preventing anyone from entering Luo Pa Valley. He did not know that Fang Yuan was already inside. Immortal Gu Pulling Mountain. Fang Yuan had just activated this immortal Gu and was about to take Luo Pa Valley into his immortal aperture when a change occurred that in his ears. A voice could be heard that it was when he was in the dream realm. Star constellation Immortal Venerable had once sang fallen songs and despondent heroes. Difficulty in resisting the trials of fate. Bent swords sink in the sand, rising and falling from ancient times, the rumbling of an unceasing heavenly river. Alas, spectral night carries a soul into endless dreams. Where can one rest in peace? During spring and autumn body and mind shifts, only heavens will remain vast and boundless. This time, Fang Yuan heard it clearly. At the same time, a wave of information entered his mind. Fang Yuan's shock was beyond description. Luo Pa Valley actually has a thieving heaven true inheritance?